Hi everyone, I am Mark Brian Bugol and I was born on September 1, 2003. I was born in Lumbal, Bensantisagan, Zamboanga del Sur. I currently residing at Balangasan, Pagadian City. The school last I attended at Judge in Bundupingan National High School. I received with honor. My personal goals in life is to be a successful person so that I can give back to my family and I can give them the better life to live in. Thank you.
Art criticism. How to critically analyze and evaluate visual artwork across various medium and styles. Art criticism contains a list of questions to guide students through the process of analyzing visual materials of any kind, including drawing, painting, mixed media, graphic design, sculpture, printmaking, architecture, photography, textile, fashion, and so on. So, art criticism, also a visual analysis, increases your understanding of how visual materials communicates and functions, whether it generates meaning, elicits emotion, or creates a mood. Visual analysis can be applied to any visual materials, including art, design, and architecture. To analyze an artwork, the critical explains how all the parts and feature works together as a whole. The step of analysis requires the critic to discuss how the elements of the artwork work together in terms of principles of art. For example, balance, contrast, emphasis, or movement.
Hi, my name is Isdelfit Kanilang. I'm 22 years old and I live in Buratok, Pagadian City. Art criticism. Art criticism is the analysis and evaluation of artworks considering aspects like form, content, technique, and cultural context. It often involves interpreting the artist's intentions and the viewer's emotional response to the work. How to critically analyze art criticism involves the thoughtful evaluation and interpretation of visual artworks. To critically analyze art, follow these steps. Number 1. Observe. Spend time looking at the artwork. Pay attention to details like color, composition, texture, and subject matter. Number 2. Describe. Write down your observation in detail. Describe what you see and note any element that stand out to you. Number 3. Analyze form. Consider how the artist has used visual elements like line, shape, color, and space.
I am Rainier E. Cabacha from base IT2V, born in April 3, 2003 at Woodland, Biging Tigbao, Zamboanga del Sur. Currently live at Panta do Malinaw, Zamboanga del Sur. I graduated my senior high school at Eliana Bayview College. My personal goals in life is to finish my studies and to become successful in life. 5 ways to compare classic and contemporary artists. The number 4 is Eisen Kate Herring. Kate Herring is known for using his own language of iconic symbols and imagery to create instantly recognizable work. From his drawings in the subways of New York City to public murals all over the world, Herring used semiotics to create his own visual language. Big Eyes Williger is a contemporary artist in the St. Louis, Missouri area. He uses his signature eye to design to create colorful characters and street art. He uses his art to bring objects to life in the street and believes that eyes are the window to your soul. Students can compare and contrast these two artists and the work they created as street art as well as producing prints and merchandise. We can have discussions about why an artist would want to reach the masses rather than the art elite. Students can make their own signature symbol or visual vocabulary, similar to hearing and eyes. They can sketch ideas for their own line of merchandise and that somehow incorporates their symbols. Number 5 is Victoria Villasana and Andy Warhol. It's safe to say that Andy Warhol was obsessed with all things celebrity. He created many iconic prints of notable figures like Marilyn Monroe, Queen Elizabeth, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jackson, to name a few. These prints and paintings were not realistic depictions, but colorful abstractions unique to Warhol's process. Andy Warhol. Victoria Villasana is a textile artist born in Guadalajara, Mexico. She creates embroidery patterns on top of images. She places her artwork in the streets and has become well known for her rebellious femininity and acute cross-cultural imagery. Many of Villasana's embroidered images feature celebrity portraits like David Bowie, Maya Angelou, Frida Kahlo, and Rihanna. The colorful yarn is left uncut and hangs below the image frame. Both artists utilize image reproductions of celebrities but use their artistic style and vision to alter the images with bright colors. Students can compare and contrast the artist's works and processes. Students can then enjoy altering images of their own celebrity heroes with various art supplies to breathe new life to their original portraits.
Good day everyone, I am Macy Commendator of BSIT2B and for my discussion is going to develop skills in comparing and contrasting different artworks and artists and learn to identify similarities and difference in style, subject, matter, and artist approach and analyze how these factors contribute to overall meaning and impact of the artworks.
There are 5 artist pairs who bridge the classic with the contemporary. Number 1 is Gandhi, Wally, and Titan. If you already teach about artists of Italian Renaissance, like Titan, you can pair his work with the portrait paintings of contemporary artist Gandhi, Wally. This is an excellent pairing to begin with a will reference the pose and expression of Titan's the penitent Mary Magdalene on 1555 to 1556 in his portrait after the Titans the penitent Mary Magdalene 2009. Titan. Student will quickly identify how the figures are posed similarly, and they will also note how the two pieces are different. The background of Wheeler portrait is a floral pattern, while Titan's portrait background has a natural landscape. The figures are male and female and are dressed in clothing reflecting their time and places. Using the Venn diagram, students can form an opinion about each work. As students, to support their opinion with reason, why they think that way. Once students have analyzed the artist's portraits, they can move on to an art-making project of their own. Gandhi Wildlife. You already have a portrait that ties in with the Italian Renaissance. Continue with it, but refer to how Willie process include changes in style and pattern. Student may draw a portrait in a classic pose, but with a contemporary fashion and an intricate background pattern similar to Wally. You could also have students recreate an Italian Renaissance painting as a photograph. This would work particularly well for remote learning. If you have older students with access to design software, they could easily create a digital background and input the Renaissance-inspired. Number 2 is Lisa Bryce and Pablo Picasso. Many arts teachers are familiar with teaching Pablo Picasso and his various artist periods, such as Cubism, the Rose period, and the Blue period. While teaching the Blue period, teachers can encourage students to work in a monochromatic color scheme using only the color blue and orange of tints and shades. Pablo Picasso. Familiar to Picasso's use of the color blue is contemporary painter and visual artist Louisa Bryce. Her paintings reference her experience growing up in South Africa and the same time she spent living and working in Trinidad. Again, students can compare and contrast these two artists' works. Ask students to reflect on how Picasso and Bryce may see the world differently and communicate their perspectives through their artworks. While Picasso applied the word blue to represent his own sadness, Bryce used the blue in reference to Trinidad carnival traditions. It can provide students with some conceptual information about each artist. Student can make interfaces from what they learn. The Bryce. Once students have been introduced to the artist's life and works, they can create their own monochromatic drawings or paintings. Review what a value scale is and how to create various shades and tints using different art materials. Have students create monochromatic value scale and hue to their choice. Encourage them to choose a color that can communicate emotions or meaning in the way as Picasso and Bryce. Number 3. Heather Nelson and Norman Rockwell. As art educators, we want to show students that many artists create work reflecting and critiquing the world around them. Art is not simply about technique and aesthetics, but also have a message and make a profound impact on popular culture. The work of Norman Rockwell and his illustrations, the Saturday Evening Post, have become famous as snapshots of daily life, as well as statements about social and political issues. The Four Freedoms of 1943, series of oil paintings refer to President Franklin D. Roosevelt's 1941 State of the Union speech. The Problem We All Live With 1964 is considered to be an iconic image of the civil rights movement. Norman Rockwell. Contemporary artist and writer Heather Nelson has similarly used his artwork to honor the life of George Floyd and depict the social uprising and protests of 2020. His work has been featured on the cover of the New Yorker and Rolling Stone. Students can analyze their works individually and write or discuss their own thoughts and opinions about how each piece reflects the political and social climate of its time. They can compare and contrast the two artists' works. They can research speeches, essays, and articles to speak to the topics the artwork is referring. Kadir Nelson. Students can create their own magazine or newspaper illustrations concerning issues they are passionate about. Ask students to consider the big topic they discuss with peer or the home with their family. Ask them to think about how they would create a cover illustration to visually represent the topic in a way that is universally understood. They can use photography, magazine, clippings, design software, drawing or paintings, materials, etc. to create.
Hi, I am Joaquin Bravo. I am 21 years old, born in January 18, 2002. And I was born in Barangay Tulawas, Pagadian City. I was live in Mga Pagadian City, Pro 4 Aquino. I finished my senior high in West Prime Horizon Institute, and my goals is to finish my studies. So I am Jurgen Bravo. So this is my report about the others matters related to art criticism. So art criticism is a multifaceted field that involves analyzing, interpreting, and evaluating works of art. So formal analysis. This is involved examining the visual elements of work of art, such as color, composition, line, shape, texture, and space. Formal analysis helps to understand how these elements contribute to overall meaning and impact of the artwork. Contextual analysis, understanding the historical, cultural, and social context in which an artwork was created can greatly enhance its interpretation. Factors like the artist's background, the prevailing art movements of the time, and societal influences can all shape the meaning of piece. Iconography. This involves identifying and interpreting symbols, motifs, and visual elements within a work of art. Iconography can reveal hidden meanings, cultural references, and allegorical content that might not be immediately apparent. Comparative analysis. Comparing and contrasting different artworks or an artist can provide insight into stylistic developments, influences, and thematic variations within a specific genre, period, or movement. Semiotics and symbolisms. Art can be seen as a language with its own symbol and signs. Exploring the semiotic aspects of art involves decoding the symbols to understand the intended messages and meanings. Aesthetics. Aesthetics theories address questions about beauty, taste, and the emotional impact of art. Discussions about aesthetic often delve into subject experiences and the ways in which art resonates with individuals. Ethical and socio-political critique. Art can often reflect or comment on societal issues, politics, and ethical concerns. Analyzing how artists engage with this subject and the impact of their works on public discourse is an important aspect of criticism. Form versus content. Debates often arise around whether the form, the visual elements and composition, or the content, the underlying meaning and concepts of an artwork holds greater significance. Intention versus interpretation. Examining the artist's intentions versus the viewer's interpretations can lead to discussions about how meaning is constructed and whether the artist's original intent is the definitive interpretation. Institutional critique. This involves examining the artworks, institutions such as galleries, museums, and the commercial art market, and critiquing their influence on artistic production, consumption, and value. Digital and new media art. The rise of technology has led to new forms of artistic expression, critiquing digital art, interactive installations, virtual reality experiences, and the other emerging mediums requires adapting traditional criticism approaches, global and cross-cultural perspectives, considering art from various cultures and regions highlights the diversity of artistic expression and challenges Eurocentric norms in art criticism. And that's all. Thank you.